So Alex Hormozi just made about $108 million in around 72 hours. And in this video, what I want to do is I want to break down his entire launch strategy from his whole Whisper Tea shout, exactly how he did it and what he did, the exact strategies he used, his whole VSL, break down the entire thing and why it worked, how you can use it for yourself. Also, the entire offer and funnel flow, everything that he did to ensure as many sales as possible, and how he structured it, how he framed it, and how that made him so much money. And then also overall the exact strategy that he did, how much money he made, and also how you can implement something like this for yourself, obviously on a bit of a smaller scale because you don't have millions and millions of followers or have probably made hundreds of millions of dollars like Hormozi did himself. So first things first, locking in, it all started 1 year ago during his last book launch, which was $100 million leads. At the very end of it, 1 year ago today, he said, I have my new book coming out. I don't know when it's coming out, but it is coming out. I already wrote it. It already happened. This was the whisper phase. If you've read any of his other books, you know he uses the launch strategy, also known as Whisper Tea Shout. Very popular strategy. From there, during this time, the year time zone, I know people on school, I use school a lot, so I see like people in the community, they were like, oh, like it might be like $100 million community. At this point, no one really knew what it was called. Some people said money model, some people said it was going to be some other stuff. People really didn't know what it was going to be. At this point, all people knew was that there was a book coming, and they didn't know what it was or what it was going to be. And it's building a ton of anticipation and a ton of excitement, and this is huge, especially when it comes to a launch from yourself. So from that point, this was from about a year all the way up until July 29th. And this is when the promo began, and these are when the first ads were ran. This was July 29th through August 1st. These were his first ads that he ran, and they were all going towards sign up for my book launch, which is going to be on August 16th. And he's teasing the audience here a lot because he's saying if you go to the book launch, you're going to get bonuses, and those bonuses, he won't tell you what they are, but all it is better than an NFT and worse than a Bitcoin. And worse than a Bitcoin. So the only thing that you can really do is think, what is that? What is it going to be? What are they going to do? I guess I should sign up for the book launch or pre-order the book, whatever that is. He also did that through all of his organic content, like through LinkedIn, through Instagram, through TikTok, all that stuff. He's all pushing to the free event, and he's all saying, hey, August 16th, this is the date to look out for. This is when the book launch is going to be. There's going to be a massive event, a lot of things happening. We have ads, everything. And from that point, you can register for the book launch for free, or you can also pre-order and get these bonuses. And what that does is that's going to liquidate his ad spend at the same time, which is wonderful. Even though he's primarily promoting, just show up to the free live event. After that, I forget if there was another upsell, but I do remember post of that second upsell, he was trying to get people into his affiliate program so that he can have an army of affiliates to promote even harder, to essentially get more people to this book launch for free, because he knew he had something massive on its way. So from that point, we get to shout. Okay, and the shout phase is finally on August 16th. So from all this time, he's been promoting, hey, August 16th, August 16th, this is what's happening. I have this book launch coming. It's going to be better than an NFT, not as good as a Bitcoin, right? Building that anticipation. And now we shout, hey, it's August 16th. Come join from all the social media platforms. We got ads, right? All of his affiliates, right? Emails and SMSs, right? If you have a cell phone or a device and you sign up for this book launch, you knew it was happening. Right, and it all went to YouTube, which is wonderful because it wasn't on like a separate Zoom or anything like that. It was open. He could also get YouTube organic traffic as well, which worked out really well in his favor. I know I see a lot of people doing their VSLs on YouTube now and they're doing like organic style VSLs. It's worked out really well. Just ask Iban Ghazi how it worked out. So moving on from there, we get into the launch VSL and the full breakdown. So the first thing he does right when this launch goes live, he does one thing. He congrats you or thanks you for showing up, okay? And after he thanks you for showing up, he gets right into his story and authority. Now, most people, you would think, would know his story or exactly what he did, but most people do not. Now, the thing is, especially when you're doing a VSL, even if it's warmer traffic or organic traffic, they might know your story, but they're not going to be opposed to hearing it again, right? So he's building his authority, telling his story. Hey, I sold 3 companies, Gym Launch, Prestige Labs, Allen, whatever that is. And then to give you an idea, top 15% of 51,000 publicly traded companies, right? Showing his authority. Hey, I know what the hell I'm talking about, even to people who, don't really know who he is that much, right? And directly after that, he gets into his mission, right? Why am I doing this? Getting people brought on board more so than please buy my book, right? Way different frame. It's like, hey, our mission isn't to sell as many books. Our mission is to make real business education available for everyone. Now people are brought on board more so than just themselves, and now it's a community mission. Directly after that, this is very common. He speaks about this all the time, and with all VSLs, essentially, he gets into proof, promise, and plan. So first, he does the promise. This is what you're going to get today. How good money models get more customers, spend more money in less time, over and over again. That's the whole promise. And then he jumps right into proof. He's like, hey, my first book did fantastic, right? My second book is proof that this worked, right? And then now we get into the plan here. But before that, it was like, hey, we already made more money than last time just to show you that this money model works, et cetera, et cetera. Now we get into the plan. Here's what you're going to get by watching this video. Get people to watch the whole thing. Okay, fantastic. No mention of bonuses at all. Just, hey, this is what's happening. He then amplifies the problem. And this is the same thing on any type of VSL you go through. It'll normally go through a similar structure. The problem is that I think it was like 99% of businesses, they only make $48,000 per year in profit. He's like, hey, this is a big problem, right? So you have two choices, right? You can, be like most businesses and be limited by cash flow, because the problem is this: his solution is cash flow, right? So he's like, hey, you need cash flow, right? Or option two, get paid a lot fast and get cash flow, right? And his solution, or his solvent to cash flow and how to get cash flow, is a money model, right? So now we're into the money model situation. We explain what it is. We display the value of what money models is. We go through the 3 core systems or the 4 core system of attraction, upsell, downsell, continuity. And he goes through this whole process of exactly what it is and, how it works, the whole process. And with that, he backs up everything that he says with more proof, of course, because proof is in the pudding. So he's like, hey, we spent $4 million on ads and we made $6 million back, and we didn't even launch the book yet. Right? So he's like, do you see how this works? Getting the audience to agree. And he's like, hey guys, like, I just showed you this whole thing. Can't you see this? Like, you see how this works? And now the audience is like, yeah, I get it. I see it. Awesome. Fantastic. And then he goes through and does the biggest tease I think I've ever seen in a long time. I mean, I didn't watch the $100 million leads launch. I don't know how that really went. But he does this whole gigantic pitch on the Money Models course, which is eventually free, obviously. But the way he does it, he's like, yeah, this is worth this. He goes through each individual aspect, talking about how much value it is, has total value. In total, it's going to be $70,000. And he goes through, but I'm not going to charge that. It's going to be, $30,000. He's like, but I'm not going to charge that. It's going to be $10,000. He's like, but I'm not going to charge you that. It's going to be $6,000. He goes through this whole thing, and then he edges the entire internet. He edges everyone, and he's like, 3 interest repayments, does a big pause, builds anticipation. He's still getting people fired up about this. And then he's like, yep, it's free. Ultimate sauce given. He's given so much value. He's like, guys, I'm the man. I'm giving you everything. Blah, blah, blah. This is fantastic. And then he has a nice little sob story, or not sob story, but like he tells a little bit of a little memento that he has, right? And at this point, people were pumped and people were like, wow, this is so much value. This is fantastic. Now, this is the best part of how we get into the real money here. That's when we get into the pitch, okay? So we get into all of those will be available Tuesday morning. And at that point, I was like, I don't know why it's available Tuesday morning. That doesn't even make sense. But I get it now because it just enhances his next offer, right? So now he says, hey, do you feel like I kept my promise? Do you think I gave you as much value? Was it better than an NFT, right? Was it better, right? And everyone's like, yeah, it was better. People were throwing W's in the chat. People were fired up. And he gave the value first, always, and he reassured the audience that he did give that value, showing them, hey, I gave this to you now, and now I'm asking you to make a pitch. Is that cool? Essentially is what happened. And they were like, yes, that's completely cool. You completely blew my mind. You gave me so much value. I'm pumped. And then he goes, I'm going to ask you to donate 200 books. Now we get into the pitch, right? So we donate 200 books. I'll get into the offer in a second. But from this moment of this VSL breakdown, he goes through this whole pitch of all of his playbooks, the AI, all that stuff. I'll get into in a second. But at this moment, he perceived, after he made that pitch, he solved objections for about an hour straight. And he went through literally almost every single possible thing, went through 2 options, the whole classic VSL process, and he solved almost nearly every single VSL that exists, right? So from that point, his offer Let's get up into here. He's like, hey, you donate 200 books because of my mission, right? Donate 200 books because of my mission and because I want to break a world record. Please donate 200 books to other entrepreneurs. And in receiving of that, right, you will get my 12 playbooks on exactly how I've helped, 2,000 plus small business owners scale their business. I'm going to give you an implementation workshop. I'm going to give you my AI, which is trained on all the playbooks, all the books, and notes from over 2 years of consultations and all that stuff. Ton of value. And you get access to all the bonuses that he mentioned before. You get all of it immediately. But this ends when the live stream goes away, right? So now we set a hard close date and he set urgency. I'm sorry, I just lost like half the footage. I'm pretty sure it was right here. He put this whole offer on a hard close date, okay? This offer was so good already, he could have sold the AI, he could have sold the playbooks, he could have sold the workshop, he could have sold the bundle, and he could have made it fast, and he could have led it to school. He could have done all this stuff as its own offer. He didn't even need to do the 200 books, but because it was framed that way, because he framed it as donating 200 books, it came off different. It was a different style of offer, which makes it so unique, right? Because now his leverage point isn't, oh, hey, do you want to change your life for the better? No, it's hey, you're going to feel good about donating 200 books to people, right? You can give them to your people as lead magnets. You can give them to your team. You get all the bonuses faster. You can use it as a tax write-off, right? It's limited time. It's going to close on Monday. It's done. You can't buy it ever. Right? You get all the 12 playbooks included, right? You get the launch playbook, which was another bonus he ended up launching out. You get the hard close date on Monday, and you get a BNPL, right? So you can do it for $250 a month, and you're good to go. So it's an absolute no-brainer. And that is why he was able to absolutely rinse everybody, because this, as he defines in the books, he literally tells us in the books exactly what to do, and he did it right in front of our faces. Now, the funnel flow, how this rolled is right when you click on the button to go buy the book, purchase the book, it's automatically clicked onto the bundle. It's not clicked on the single. No, you don't want to buy the single, man. Like, you don't want to buy the single. You want to buy the whole thing because you want all this value that I have here. It's automatically checked there. So I'm saying in the book that it increases annual purchases by 30% if you have it selected on annual instead of monthly. So this is the same kind of strategy. Have the big offer checked as well. So make sure that is there. Just another tidbit. But from that, after you purchase the $6,000 offer, you get shifted into this $18,000 offer, right? So for only $3,000 more today, you get direct access to me. You get my advisory team, other business owners, plus 6 live virtual events. All you have to do is donate 800 books. That's all, right? He's like, I'm going to take the 200 books you already donated. I'm going to take that price. I'm going to put it into this one so you can get all of these goodies, right? In total, you donate 800 bucks and you feel a little bit better about it. And it's only going to be $3,000 a month for 6 months, right? So me personally, I did not buy that. I bought this one, but I did not buy this offer. So I got into the follow-up sequence from SMS and email, right? I got an email. Hey, this is Jacob from Alex's team, right? Because you bought 200 books, something extra for you. All it was a video trying to get me to buy this, which is fine. I respect the hustle. So that day, he proceeded to sell 2.7 million books, right? I'm not really sure how much he sold, immediately off the rip, but it was at least 1 million books in that one day. I was under the impression that this was it. I thought this is all he's going to do. I was like, after the live stream ends, the offer was over. I didn't know the offer was going to extend till Monday. I thought it was just until this. So I think that's why he got the bulk of his buyers on this day, because I didn't know he was going to keep going, right? But at that point, he said, fuck it. Let's rinse the audience, right? The very next day, I get an email. Oh, we're back. We're back live. Come hop in, right? Let's run some more ads to the new live stream that's happening, right? New audience, organic, right? All pushing right back here. Emails, SMSs, text messages, all coming right back to the live, where he did Hormozi Hotline for, 7 hours, okay? And how do you get on Hormozi Hotline? Well, you donate books, right? So he created a new offer that says donate 80 books and you get on Hormozi Hotline, right? That's $2,700 right there. Or he's also getting people to buy right back to his core offer again. Now, on this next day, I got another text message with a text a text sales letter where it was like, oh, for 3K more today, get access to me and all this stuff, right? Like, thank you for donating, but like you can get all this other cool stuff if you just like spend $3,000 today, right? So it went right back to the same thing. And then he said, fuck it, let's do it again. And he launched again, but this time he had donation goals, right? Trying to get more people to buy, right? Like, oh, when you donate this, like I'll call buyers, right? I'm gonna do exclusive readings, right? I'll give away, signed copies, right? You get a fireside chat, whatever that is, right? He's just giving all these extra things to push people over the edge on the last day and giving more value throughout his entire launch period, which is from the 16th to the 18th or whatever it was, right? And he went live for 12 hours again. Like, how many people do you know wake up, make $80 million on one day, go to bed, and wake up and say, fuck it, I'm going to go live for another 8 hours, and then proceed to make another $1 million, and then go back in and say, hey, you know what? Fuck it. That wasn't good enough. I'm going to go live for another 12 hours all day and provide more value to the audience and give them one last pitch. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. So what we can learn from this, overall, this is exactly what happened in sequential order. First things first, we did a promo to the moon everywhere. The 16th is coming, right? We did the whisper first, and then we went right into promo, right? Everyone, 16th, everyone get ready for the open date. On the open date, on 16th, we delivered overwhelming value on the open date with the VSL presenting the offer of buying 2,000 books. From that point, we presented the offer, like I mentioned, and then another post-purchase upsell with a special discount. I'll take your $6,000 that you already donated and take it into the next offer to donate 800 books, right? And all it is, essentially, it's more of what they just got with speed, certainty, and access to him and his team. That's the main difference, right? And then all pushing to the close date. Every live, everything, everywhere is pushing, hey, last day for the special offer is August 18th. And throughout this entire launch period, this whole launch period, he did nothing but solve objections, right? He solved objections, right? He provided value. And from that, he was able to absolutely cook and sell 3.6 million copies, resulting in about $108 million in 72 hours. Alex Hormozi, you're an absolute beast. Congratulations to you. Well deserved. But I don't know if those are 100% core hard numbers, but you get the point. That's exactly what happened. So how do you implement something like this from yourself or for yourself on somewhat of a smaller scale? And this is the same launch framework that I actually use, so it actually makes me feel better that he does something extremely similar. So this is essentially his whole launch framework, just kind of compressed down without, all the nonsense, but something similar, right? That you can obviously use yourself. So essentially, it's just your content, emails, ads, if you have the money for it and you have the big enough organic audience for it, all pushing for your launch date. For example, we can say this is the 15th. You send them to an opt-in page to collect all of those emails, so then you can push them to your VSL when it launches. You can do it live. You don't have to do it live. It's completely up to you. But you present your special offer with a VSL. You literally can just copy this whole portion of the VSL all the way up until this section right here. And then after that, you just solve objections just like he did at the end of the pitch down here. But that's essentially all you have to do for the VSL, because he literally put it on a silver platter. Go watch the first 40 minutes of that live and you'll know exactly how to write a fantastic VSL. And then from that point on, all you do is you provide, just like he did, you provide value and you solve objections through emails, through SMS, and through your VSL. And you promote that the close date is December 20th, and this is an absolute last time to get it. Get this offer before the 20th is over at midnight or whatever the point is, and that is the exact same strategy on a very, very, very smaller scale compared to what Hormozi did. But when this happens right, essentially what it looks like is you'll have your open date, which is the 15th. You have the close date, which is the 20th. Your Stripe dashboard will be right here. You'll get a little bit on the first day. It'll open up here, and then you'll get a skyrocket on the last day. You'll get 25% of sales on this first day here. On the second, throughout this entire launch in this whole portion, you'll get about 25% here. And then on this last day, you get 25% on that last day. And the reason why I think that his launch did so much better on the first day than the other days is because I thought, and I think other people thought too, that that whole offer was going to end on the open date when the live ended. That's what I thought. So that's why I think he got so much more on that first day, was specifically because of that reason. But overall, this is the strategy, and this is the breakdown that I got. I thought it was really cool to really dive into this launch and exactly how we did it from, an operations point of view, and exactly what happened, and how we did it. I think it was very cool. Congratulations to Alex Hormozi. This was insane. I'm pretty sure it was top 4 selling books of all time, which is absolutely nuts. That is dumb. So yeah, I hope you learned something from this video. I thought it was really cool to break this whole thing down. So I hope you like it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.